Hello, Owl Pals. This is Big Al, and today Big Al presents Black Mirror Season 5 review. For those of you who don't know, just a quick little summary. Black Mirror is a science fiction anthology series created by Charlie Brooker, consisting of cautionary tales and future consequences of our culture's evolving social technologies. And it is on Netflix for those of you who don't know and who may want to check it out. Season 5 dropped on June 5th and consisted of 3 episodes. The first episode, Striking Vipers. A family man, played by Anthony Mackie, Falcon of Avengers fame, finds himself in a rut until his friend gives him the latest incarnation of the video game Striking Vipers they played in their younger days. Soon the immersive, combative gameplay leads to a more pleasurable encounter between their avatars, leading the two to question their relationships with each other and the women in their lives. Though the story is intriguing, the execution was lacking. The actors seem to walk through the episode as if they're in a stupor. At over 1 hour, the episode drags with seemingly endless brooding by the characters. The only positive energy in the episode comes from the game avatars portrayed by Pom Klementieff, or Clementif. Don't know how to pronounce her name, sorry. Of course, she's better known as Mantis in Avengers. And Luddy Lynn. Um, there's more life in them than their human characters. While somewhat understandable due to the human characters' conflicts, they're not on screen enough to really lift the depressive feel of the episode. The ending could have been interesting, but the episode never adequately tackles the confrontation or the fallout and only hints at a resolution of the characters' actions. Um, it's just a very blah episode. The only time it really picks up is when they're in the immersive gameplay of Striking Vipers, and you have their two avatars, let's just say, interacting in a way that these two don't do in the real world, and that's where the conflict comes at. What is really a letdown is that the big dramatic resolution that there should have been because of everybody involved and things finding out. It it never really happens. It sort of happens between the two that are in the game, but Anthony Mackie's character and his wife, they never really have the talk, um, or at least on screen, they don't have the talk. And what happens between the two of them is kind of portrayed, but it's kind of a cop out. I just think it could have been portrayed so much better. And like I said, almost an hour. This thing it just dragged because there's just a lot of Anthony Mackie sitting around in contemplative thought. So it really it could have picked up the pace a little bit. It just kind of dragged. So I was kind of let down. Like I said, it's a good concept. Um, it just was not done well. The second episode is called Smithereens. Smithereens, when his original plan goes wrong and leads to a hostage situation, a desperate man with unknown motives, Andrew Scott, demands to talk to the CEO of Smithereen, Topher Grace, a huge social media company. Topher Grace, of course, was Eric in that '70s show. Also played Eddie Brock in Spider-Man 3. Just for you, those who don't know him. Though it takes several minutes to get going, Smithereens becomes a well acted and tension filled installment of Black Mirror but like Striking Vipers, suffers some from the episode length, approximately 1 hour and 10 minutes. Some editing down would have helped the flow of the episode. The story develops slowly, but keeps the viewer absorbed through to the end. The only flaw could be in the motives of the character Chris. You may question why he went through the lengths he did for the results he intended. That being said, this is a good episode. It's a solid episode. It's a very well acted episode. It does keep you on the edge of your seat, the proverbial edge of your seat, as I like to say. The like I said, it does. I won't say it drags. I just think it could have been tightened up from the hour 10 minute runtime. I think it starts off slow, and I think that's really where a lot of that feeling comes from. But once it gets going, uh, it it really becomes a very tense episode. The problem ultimately, though, I think with the story is while the social commentary is a good one and it is um, very apt for today's world. I just I just can't understand, or they really didn't clarify why he wanted the result he did. Uh, I can sympathize with him. I know why he felt the way he did. I just don't know why he went through all he did just to talk to the CEO of Smithereens. It's I don't know. It's just one of those things. Your mileage may vary on this one. For my feeling, a good solid episode, not a great episode, uh, but a worthwhile episode to watch. And of the three, probably the best overall. Uh, the third episode, the last one I'll be talking about, is called Rachael, Jack, and Ashley 2. Yes, I am giggling already. When world famous pop star Ashley O, played by Miley Cyrus, becomes comatose, her only chance may be two teen sisters and the AI doll version of Ashley O called Ashley 2. Okay, I'm going to catch a lot of, um, I'm going to say guff just to be old fashioned because everybody thinks I'm an old man. But a reasonably and surprisingly entertaining episode. Rachael, Jack, and Ashley, too, has no significant social commentary to make outside of beware who you trust when you're famous. The name Miley Cyrus may not inspire thoughts of thespian greatness, and she shouldn't. Let's just get that out of the way. I am not saying Miley Cyrus was fantastic by any length of the imagination. But her performance is relatively believable, especially since she is basically playing a version of herself. Despite the overall gloomy tone of the previous two episodes, this one tempers its darker moments with goofy robotic doll moments and some lighthearted dialogue. Yes, it's silly. Yes, it's silly. I know it's silly. I accept that it's silly. But it's an enjoyable silly. It's like the cotton candy of visual media. That's the metaphor I came up with. It is a silly episode. It is ultimately not going to be a memorable episode. It's not a great episode. It doesn't have anything going for it aside from the fact that it's got this weird little doll running around with Miley Cyrus's voice, and they're trying to save Miley Cyrus from her vindictive and greedy aunt. Um, Beyond that, it's just kind of fun, and it did kind of cleanse the palate after experiencing two much darker episodes. It's kind of like having dessert. You had Striking Vipers, which was your appetizer, which, it whetted the appetite a little bit, but you really wanted more. Smithereens gave you a pretty good meal. Wasn't the best. And here you have your, you know, your little bit of sweet pink frosting cupcake after your meal. Like I said, not great, but it was funny. I enjoyed it. I don't care what other people are saying about it. Black Mirror season 5 really doesn't live up to the quality of the previous 4 seasons and some of the odd movie they put out like Bandersnatch, which was actually fairly enjoyable. It's the interactive pick your own path um, story. Uh, so these three aren't going to be remembered for anything special. If anything, it's going to be the season where they had the Miley Cyrus episode that everybody made fun of, which is fine. Yeah, but anyway, that's all I have to say about season 5 of Black Mirror. I do suggest going back and catching earlier episodes. There's a lot of good stuff out there. A lot of people kind of found it when USS Callister hit, the Star Trek parody. But there's a lot of other really good stories out there with some really good commentary. Uh, I highly suggest it. These three episode, these 3 episodes, not so much. Uh, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Look for some other things in the near future. I'm not as prolific as my friends Professor Geek or the Fan Man, but I'm trying to get some more stuff out there. Have a nice day, enjoy, and take care.